thing. And I'm like, no, they're literally just saying out loud.
It's conspiracy fact. They're telling you exactly what they're all about. They're telling you exactly what they're all about. I can't believe that this is the world that we live in. You know what, man? That's not true. I 100% believe that this is the world that we live in. I 100% believe that this is the world. And it's terrible.
It is. It's horrible. It really is. I mean, it literally comes straight from the Bible. I mean,
that's why I'm not. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm not surprised. All right, we're getting ready to go live in a couple seconds here, you guys. Let's see.
This is 4.
Is that 4?
Yeah. Just make sure that works.
All right, let's get it up. There we go. Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning into The Divide with Marcus C. Williams and
Brian McKenzie
here on WRFZ 106.3 Rochester Free Radio. We got a great show in store for you guys. We're going to jump into it. We've got so much going on in this world right now. It's hard to understand or see a better way forward. But here on this show, we're going to try to cut through some of the minutia of what's going on, give you some real good information, and give you some encouragement to keep you going. So if you're watching online, if you're on Facebook, YouTube, X, wherever you are, make sure that you like and share. Sharing is the easiest thing that you can do to help out the show. And if you're listening to us on the radio, make sure that you tell everybody, tune in Mondays, 2:30 to 4 p.m. to WRFZ 106.3 and tune into The Divide because they're giving out some great stuff there. So as we get into it, man, is the world almost at war or what? Every day we inch closer and closer to all-out war on every single continent that we possibly have here. And it seems that every day it's some new interesting thing, whether it's in Europe, whether it's in the Middle East, maybe it's in Africa. Heck, I mean, look at Central and South America right now.
Yeah, it's on fire.
Everything is on fire. You know, you would be hard-pressed to find a continent that's anywhere almost peaceful. I mean, you could say Australia, but even Australia is locking up its own people because they want to have freedom of speech.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's absolutely insane. So as we march toward this world globalized conglomerate of dystopian futures, we as people, especially as the American people, have to start standing up and pushing back and saying, no, what you're doing is not something that we like. We don't like that you're trying to work on controlling the food sources and make us not eat meat. They want you to eat bugs instead. Isn't that crazy? I mean, I'm not about to eat any bugs.
No, definitely not eat.
Listen, I want to eat the bugs that I get in my mouth when I'm on a bike, right? Okay? I don't want those. You know, but it's crazy. Not only are they trying to control the food supply, they're trying to control the water supply.
The transportation, everything.
Transportation, everything. Every single aspect of educational system. Mm-hmm. They don't want you to educate your child yourself. They want to educate them themselves the way that they want to. And it's interesting, as in the United States of America, we have an education system that was founded by big corporations, namely the Rockefellers. And Rockefeller said himself, and I'm summarizing here, he said, I don't want an intelligent mass. I want masses to be educated enough to be workers, and that's it.
I mean, it's the Marxist way. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Well, if you give people too much information, then they might say, hey, maybe we need to flip this table over, and maybe something different needs to be done.
Yeah, they want people who will take the narrative at face value immediately and run with it. You know, and too many people do right now. Way too many people are doing that. They take the narrative that's pushed by the media, that's given by the government, and this is it. And if you say anything different, you're a conspiracy theorist or this and that. It's like, when did this start to happen? When did so many people start to trust every little word that came out of the government's mouth? But
you know, it's really crazy because it's sometime. I remember when I was little, and I don't know exactly when this happened, but I remember when I was little, everybody knew that the government lied and the media lied, and that was a fact, and everybody knew this. But now all of a sudden, everyone's, oh, CNN said this, MSNBC said this, and then people will say, well, Marcus, you watch Fox News. I don't watch them either. I don't like them. They talk about, listen, They enforced those vaccine mandates on their people there, and that was wrong because it should not be forced, no matter how you feel about it. That's number one. Number two, I don't like a lot of the stuff that they kind of gear in certain ways. They're very part of the whole monopoly on media anyway. You know, they're all in the same thing. You know, George Carlin once said, and I'm summarizing, he once said, you know, they don't need to actually have an open conspiracy against you because they all know what's best for them, because they all go to the same schools, are married into the same families, have the same bankers, and go on vacations to the same islands.
Yep, that's a fact.
And as we look at these very interesting things that we're seeing, people ask one question: why? Why is this happening? Why is this going on? These illegal aliens, why are all these illegal aliens coming here?
Yeah, it's no accident.
It's no accident. And it's not, look, we've got a border that's wide open. We've got private nonprofits that are funded by the global elites, funneling them into our country and into Europe. And now it's causing great destabilization because the people are tired.
Yeah, exactly. And it's you know, like in UK, like I said, they're going crazy over there because guess what? It got to be too much. And if you listen to some media outlets, they make it sound like the people who are rising up and saying it's too much, they're the bad guys. You know, they're the bad guys.
Exactly that. And we know firsthand that that is not a truth that is actually based in reality. But this is another thing. What is truth anymore? They try to manipulate you. They say, oh, well, this is the truth. That is the truth. Listen, that isn't even relatively the truth when they start talking. Let me tell you like this. Look, I was raised that I'm an American, right? So that's number one. So as an American, we were raised kind of, you know, and I'm an American. I'm not an import from Europe or Africa or anywhere else. So that's important backstory. Okay. So as we were growing up, we were taught that certain things were wrong. We were taught that McCarthyism was wrong, and McCarthy was wrong for trying to lock up all of the communists, saying that they were in charge of the media industry, except somehow it seems like they're all in charge of the media industry. Yeah. He said they were in charge of the educational institutions, and somehow they're all in charge of the educational institutions. Seems like the man was ahead of his time, you know? And then now we've got it where there are people rebelling in England and in Ireland and even Scotland. You know, I was taught growing up that the IRA was bad, and I'm like, I don't know anymore. I don't know, you know, because it's crazy, right? Because I say that, and this is going to sound like the socialist propaganda, right? The only solution for people that are being abused by their government is to fight back. And what's the thing that they say? I don't know, like guerrilla warfare or whatever. Whatever the saying is, I'm not a socialist. I don't know, but essentially that's what they're doing. And now them over there, they're fighting back against the government and the police and the military over there because they're starting to arrest them for memes. Yep. Memes that they posted online. Now, remember, we recently had a guy over here
in Florida
that went to jail for posting a meme, you know?
Yep, he did.
It was if you're Hillary Clinton to text whatever to vote.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. Who's doing that?
Exactly. The people can recognize a meme, but if you're not, I mean, look at Tulsi Gabbard was just found out to be on the terrorist watch list for flying. I mean, they put targets on people, and you might not even know you're a target.
Listen, I did another show the other day, and somebody commented on the show. They said, listen, be careful about what you're saying, because if you say certain things, that they'll be watching you. I'm sure, listen, if they're not already watching me, God bless, okay? Because I say a lot of stuff, and I mean it. I mean it. I really mean it. And I say it because you guys, somebody has to say it. I am fully of the thought process that it is a very high likelihood that at some point they start carting us away on trains. Okay, I firmly believe that, and that's why now is the time to stand up. If we don't stand up now, there will be no future to stand up and fight for.
No, it's all a battle for a two-class system is what it is. It's a push for a two-class system with the elites and then the rest of us.
Well, you know, I see it like this, a little bit different, but pretty much the same as you. What they're doing is, and I encourage you guys to look up how the samurai used to be paid under the shogunate. So in the ancient Japan, not even ancient modern Japan, right? Not too far away. Right. So they used to have the shogunate was on the top with the shogun, Okay, they were the top, tippy top, right? The elite of all the elites. And then you had the samurai. Everybody knows about the samurai, the wealthy landowning people, whatever. But they were given little fiefdoms that were under the control of the shogunate, so the shogunate could take it away at any time. Now, the shogunate was slick. What they did is instead of paying them in gold or in silver or anything that they can actually sell, they paid them in rice. Now, what do we know about rice? It's not easily transferable. It doesn't carry well, and it's easily spoilable.
Yep.
Okay, so it was all a thing to keep them in power. And what happened? The people at the bottom, underneath the samurai, you know, you had the farmers and you had the people that were basically like everyday people, craftsmen. They were mad at the samurai because they felt like they were had their foot on them from the samurai. But really, it was the push was coming from the top.
Yes.
The top was crushing on the samurai was crushing on the bottom underneath them. But really, neither the samurai nor the people had any power in that move.
Nope, exactly.
Only the shogunate. And that's what we're seeing here now. People are like, oh, be mad at the police, why would you be mad at the police? The police are doing their job. Okay? I mean, you could be mad, right? Something happened, you're mad, you feel some type of way, of course.
You have the right to be mad, of course,
but you're mad, you're focusing this energy on them when you should be focusing it on the people that are at the top.
Well, that's why they're putting the narratives out. So they put these narratives out through the media that keep us fighting amongst each other, being mad at the wrong people. And there we go. Now it sounds much better.
Okay,
there we go.
Good. Yeah, I was like, something's not right here. Let me fix the mic. Go on.
Good night here. Yeah, exactly. The way the system works, it's like they push their narratives and all this rhetoric through the media, which fuels the different groups that they've divided us into already to fight amongst each other, to hate each other, to be mad at each other, and think that one group's oppressing another. When really, like you said, we're all being oppressed by the same people.
Exactly.
And that's exactly but they don't want us to notice that. As long as we're fighting with each other, you can't notice that.
Exactly. And this is what they want. They want to keep us off our toes. They want to keep us swirled about so that we don't see what's happening. Now, I'm a card-carrying Republican, but I am a constitutional conservative, okay? So this is very important. When I say the next thing, feel some type of way if you want to, okay? I don't care, okay? I said exactly what I said. First off, the Democrats, and I'm getting to the Republicans, don't think I'm going to leave them out. First off, the Democrats are pushing us to one global currency, okay, and the digital dollar in the United States. And I was watching a thing with Paul Ryan. Paul Ryan wrote some book, right? A way forward for the future, or whatever. It's called the American Renewal, or whatever the case is. Trash, bro. I watched him start speaking on it, and he's like, the first thing, look, he said, we're not even 5 minutes in, right? We're not even 5 minutes in the conversation on the book. And he's like, yeah, we need to go to a digital dollar and a digital currency. It's so good and all this. I'm like, whoa. Yeah. Whoa, you're supposed to be a Republican? Whoa, bro, what's going on? So this is really serious. Like, it shows you that on both sides, at the tippy top, the real people that are controlling stuff are all aligned together. It's not about the people.
No, it's never about people.
They've got people so focused on whether it's Democrat or it's Republican, they don't understand that we have a true ruling class, not just in the U.S., but also in the world. And sometimes we look at it as, oh, well, it's the super wealthy, or it's the wealthy that are the ones that are in control. Not really. It's a small faction of those people that are actually in control.
Exactly. It's not near all of them.
Not near all of them. Because
tiny fraction.
That's right. It's a fraction of a fraction, because it's the people that are part of these old families that have been dominating the globe for generations. This isn't new.
If you watch the World Economic Forum, if you see who's speaking there, then you can open your eyes, because you'll say, why is this guy even speaking? He has nothing to do with any government, but he's speaking. And then another one will come up. You say, why is he speaking? Why does he have any control or influence over what's going on? And they'll tell you exactly what's going on if you listen. They don't hide it.
That and the the COP 28 or 29, whatever number we're on, with the climate people.
Yes.
Whatever that is, those, and then you've got the Federal Reserve meetings, but somehow the Federal Reserve meetings aren't broadcast live. Why is that? That's interesting.
The climate stuff is what kills me. It's really, I mean, they put it best last night on a show I was watching. So it's just a way for certain people to push things through the back door if they don't get it through the front door.
Well, but that's exactly what it is. I mean, and then you look at it, let's really sit back and think, right? The people at the top of the pyramid, the people that are really behind everything, that are in control of everything, And I had a conversation with somebody the other day. We were talking about plastics, right? And it was the same people behind all of this wind power, solar power, all of that. It's the same oil companies that y'all are ragging on.
Yep.
It's Exxon, it's Shell, it's BP, it's all of these people. And it's still the same people, just under 80 different labels of this other stuff, funding this other stuff. They own most of the stock in all the other companies. And you're talking about, oh, well, end oil. Well, why are we doing that when the companies, if you are to believe it, right? If you are to believe that, why are we still putting all this other crazy stuff into the environment that we can't even talk about? You're focused on oil, but we got forever chemicals in the water. You're focused on oil. We still got people dying from Roundup. You're focused on the oil. The one thing that people don't talk is made out of oil is the plastic. Hello, plastic is made out of oil.
Absolutely.
All plastic is in 99% of almost everything now. Okay, can we talk about that? Then you wonder why everybody's got microplastics in all of their blood samples and then have it in their testicles. It's crazy. Yep. That's a real thing, people. If you didn't know, there was a study done. It was released a couple of months ago. Every sample of men's semen that they tested had microplastics in it. That is insane.
You say it's from water bottles and all that good stuff.
It's insane. Well, it's in everything, right?
Exactly.
It's in your loofah, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a plastic loofah now. It's really, really crazy. But I bring that up to delve into the pharmacological people for a second. Again, J.D. Rockefeller, right? Oh, amazing. He keeps coming up somehow.
Right.
This is somehow. So he founded the American Heart Association and many of these other different companies and stuff that are the ones that are really pushing big pharma and stuff like that. There are those out there who say, oh, well, the military industrial complex controls all of this, Well, the medical industrial complex, are you serious? Like, they're worse than the military industrial complex. Look at how they just did us over COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not talk about whether you like the shots, don't like the shots, agree with the stuff or don't agree with the stuff. Let's talk about the money, okay? The American government, your government, okay, funded Moderna, funded Pfizer, funded Johnson & Johnson, 100%. 100%. They funded them to do the research to implement and put out these drugs.
And then gave them immunity from any types of lawsuits.
And paid for the infrastructure.
Yep.
Remember, they needed the special cryo fridges on the planes and stuff to get the things, because they had to stay at almost absolute zero to put it in there. And I'm like, how can you put something in somebody if it has to stay at absolute zero to be? That doesn't make the human body's 90, 98,
you got
99.
to thaw it out before you push it through that.
How could that even? How does that? And it doesn't freeze if it's at almost. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is that we, as the American taxpayer, paid all this money for this. Then the companies are profiting because now they're selling it back to the government, which gave them the money to create it in the first place.
Oh, it's a whole ball. Well, getting back to the corporations, like you were saying, I saw a circle graph the other day, and it showed on the outer thing was all these different companies, right? And then as it went inside to the just a few pieces of pie, it showed the companies that own every one of those other companies, every one of those other labels. So it was like 6 companies were owned what we think are a bunch of individual companies, hundreds of them.
Yep.
But it's really owned by 6 companies. So who's making the call on all that stuff? The same people. Everything.
Yeah. All the food companies are owned by the old cigarette companies. How about that? How about that? I mean, these are the things that the general American populace doesn't understand, and it's all killing us. Y'all concerned about the global warming. I'm not concerned about the global warming. I'm concerned that I can barely eat anything at the store because it's got 19 byproducts that come from unsoluble sources. 20 of them are high pollutants. The other 15 are cancer causing. And you talking about it's gonna get hot. I can't be concerned about it's gonna get hot. I gotta be concerned about what I'm about to eat because I can't even eat the food. Go read a package of Nabisco's chips, okay?
Yeah, right.
Are you serious right now? You can't even buy potato chips, regular potato chips. You don't
even know what the stuff is when you're reading it. It's like they'll say orange 1452. It's you don't even know what the stuff is.
I got some popcorn from one of those like little vendors the other day, and it's crazy. On the popcorn, it had three ingredients on there because it was kettle corn. It had 3 ingredients. Guess what the ingredients were? Corn oil, and sugar and salt. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wait a second. You actually cook the corn in the corn oil?
Yeah, right.
That's awesome. Because I look at all these other things and I'm like, meat, right?
Yeah.
Meat makes its own oil if it's beef, if it's chicken. These things, they've got 25 different types of non-soluble, non-dilutable types of over-processed oils that they're trying to force down us. And then you look at the plant-made vegetable stuff. Oh my God.
Incredible burgers and stuff like that. Those things are oof.
Listen, they're not called plant because they're based from something that grew out the ground. They're called plant because they're based in a plant. Manufacturing plants.
Yep. Exactly.
That's exactly why they're called that. Now they got you want to eat. They want you to eat all this fabricated meat and fake meat and stuff like that. Oh my God.
Man, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. No way.
Did you see? And on top of all this craziness, did you see the Olympics? Any of the closing ceremony?
No, you were just talking to me about that. I can't wait to hear about it. Oh man,
brother, listen. So you saw the entrance, and they had all the craziness and all of that. We talked about it a little bit last week. So at the close, they had like this dystopian future type of setup, and on the backs of all of the people that were left over rose up this glorious looking demonic thing where you could see its ribs, and it was a beautiful gold and black, and it looked like, if you remember Lord Zed from the original Power Rangers, it kind of looked like that, but instead of the silver it was gold, and instead of the red it was black, and it just looked miraculously and marvelously like something that you would see at the Day of the Dead ceremony. And it's rising up above all of the people and all of the dystopian stuff. They're telling you what they're about, people.
Yeah, that's insane.
Can we please wake up? Like, I thought that they were going to be like, yeah, okay, after the backlash.
We should probably tone it down a little bit.
And I thought after the backlash from the first time they were going to tone it down. And I bet you can't find any videos online of it either.
Probably not. What does any of that have to do with the Olympics?
Nothing.
That's the bottom line.
Nothing. And this is the problem. They're out there telling you, like you were talking about the World Economic Forum.
Yep.
Like all of these UN meetings and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you sit there and you listen to them, they are telling you exactly what they're doing. The UN said they don't want you to have no more kids.
Yeah, right.
The UN says that they want everybody to not eat meat anymore. The UN says they want to take everybody's guns. Yeah. These are not conspiracy theories. These are actual facts, and they tell you out their mouth.
At the World Economic Forum, they tell you straight up that in the future they want everyone to live in high-rise buildings. They think it'll help the climate out if single-family houses aren't built anymore, and this and that. And they want to just centralize everything. No cars. We want to make sure you can get to whatever you want within a mile of your big apartment building. It's insane.
Open air prisons. That's exactly what it's.
Yep. It's basically what the government would own all the rural land around it, and you'd be stuck in the the quote unquote smart city they call them. It's insane to think about. I mean, you couldn't make a movie on that. It'd be like one of those.
Well, they have made movies. Literally, all the movies are about that, warning us not to do that. Soylent Green is probably the best one. You guys, if you haven't watched Soylent Green, please go watch Soylent Green. Have you seen Soylent Green? No, I haven't. You've never seen Soylent Green?
Never. For some reason, I've never seen it.
It's okay, because I haven't read Brave New World yet. I still got to read that. I still got to read that too. But 1984, that's another one.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
That's another one. Yep. 1984, Animal Farm, all of these things, it's really, really crazy what's going on right now. We're living in the dystopian future that Orwell warned us about.
1984 is the best one, I think. I mean, it literally, it's creepy in how close and accurate it is. And it ends by basically saying, Big Brother's got you. It's like, don't worry about it. Big Bro's got you. And that's kind of what you hear all the time is, you're being oppressed, but we got you. The government got you. Don't worry.
Also, check out the movie Brazil. That's a good movie. I love that movie. It's a great movie. I didn't even realize that Robert De Niro was in there too.
Seen that one.
Yeah. It's one of the what's the guy? The guy from Klaus Place. The one from the Monty Python people. What's his name?
I know you're talking about.
Somebody Clay. I can't remember his name. He did that movie. It's great movie.
Yeah.
Same type of situation, And then you've got Fahrenheit 451. I encourage you guys to read that. guys, get your books. Get physical, tangible copies of books now, because they are changing everything on the internet. They want to tell you that stuff isn't there. They didn't told us that Kamala Harris wasn't the border czar when we know that she was.
And you literally can see clips last night. I'm watching the news, and literally they show a clip of Biden giving her the title of border czar. She's going to be taking over the border, and she'll be in charge of that effort at the border. And she's sitting there nodding her head yes. And I mean, literally, and she said, don't believe your lying eyes right there. I was never in charge. Like, this is insane.
What she say? I've never been to the border, but I've also never been to Europe.
Never been to Europe either. I don't get what you're trying to ask. She said, what do you mean you don't get what he's trying to ask? He's trying to ask, why haven't you been to the border when you're in charge of the border? That's what you're trying to ask.
Yeah. It's crazy because we see this continuous rewriting of history.
Mm-hmm.
Now her campaign is using all of this AI to generate these fake images of her and pay all of these people to come out to her different events and stuff, and try to what would you say, cultivate this narrative that she's got so much more
so popular. And they were talking about that on an earlier show that I was listening to, saying what they're trying to do is make you think that she is, because let's be honest, they were talking about 6 months ago, they were talking about literally her dragging down Biden's campaign. She was a drag on the ticket. Right now, all of a sudden, she's so great. She's so much more popular than Biden was in this. And it just doesn't happen like that. So, I mean, it's the media working together to try to convince everyone that she is the opposite of what she's told us she is. And you can't do that.
I've heard that the Clintons and the Obamas and now all of them are endorsing her.
Yeah.
So don't think that she's long for this world.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Listen, I'm telling you now, they're going to push Biden out of the, I've said this before, and it's looking more and more like it's happening. They're going to push Biden out of the White House in the last couple of months, okay, of his term in office. They're going to put her in. She probably won't necessarily have a vice president. She doesn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to use that as a way to jettison her forward.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know.
My dad said that yesterday.
Did he say that? Yeah. I've been saying this for months.
He said they're gonna put her in there and make it look like she's just saved the world and this and that, and she's gonna, in order to get her elected.
And let's talk about saving the world. This morning, brother, listen to this. Listen to this. Now we're really getting something. Okay. First things first. First off, apparently 30 missiles hit inside of Israel. They broke past the Iron Dome or whatever the case is, and they hit land in Israel. Okay. Now, if anybody's just now catching up and don't know what's going on over there with Israel lately, they killed the one of the heads of Hezbollah and one of the heads of, what was the other guy?
The Houthis.
The Houthis?
The Houthis,
Was it the Houthis? Who was the other one? No. I don't know. It's too many. They got too many little segmented groups. Hamas. That's what it was. Hamas. Yeah. So they killed this dude inside Tehran, which is the capital of Iran, okay, as a straight insult, okay, in a Iranian guest house, presidential guest house, bro. They ran down on this dude so hard.
Yeah.
That the balls, bro, the balls. Oh man, listen. All I'm saying is yes, because that takes some. Like, you got some brass ones to do that.
Oh yeah.
But also having that level of brass ones, you got to understand that probably will make somebody have some.
You're gonna get a reaction
coming back. Yeah, you can't not have a reaction or you're a punk. Yeah. That's basically like
getting slapped in the face right there.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hey man, maybe they look. I don't know, man. Israel's a beast. Okay, I don't know, man. Maybe they got it like that to just be like whatever, bro. But that type of engagement, like those people over there in the Middle East, really don't like Israel, and they are really committed to getting them out of there because they feel like not only do they not have any claim to that land, but they feel like they're haughty and indignant, and they feel like they're so much better than all of the other people over there. So they got some real feelings about Israel. So when we see what's going on there, those people are very liable to start actions against Israel that will catapult a war all across the world.
Absolutely.
As you see, we've moved our ships and stuff over there.
Yep.
So
and there's more on the way right now.
Now they're talking about, there looks like there might be an imminent strike on Israel during this week sometime.
Yep.
And it's concerning because we've got all these crafts and everything over there. I just made up shipcraft. I don't know if that's an actual word, but you know what I'm talking about. aircraft carriers, you know, destroyers, all of those ships, Navy stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we got all of those over there right now. And we're like, we will defend Israel or whatever. I guess this week we're defending Israel. That's something. Yeah. You know, they can't make up their mind at the White House, you know.
No, they straddle the fence.
They really do. Very, very
horribly.
Very hard. And to me, and this is again, I told you where I said I support our allies, okay? When sometimes right is right and sometimes wrong is wrong. But when we're looking at actual warfare, separate from any of that, after that type of an engagement in Iran, okay, and they also took out one of the Hezbollah people at the same time. After that, that is very likely to incur a very large reaction. And that reaction can very well possibly drive us in and drag us into a war. But at the same time that that's happening, they're talking about they're going into Lebanon. That's scary for me as an American citizen, because now you're talking about my people might have to go over there.
Yeah, right.
Now, don't get me started. Hey, if we're going to war with Lebanon, we're going to war with Lebanon. I like Lebanon. I got a lot to say about that, except previous Lebanon, not present Lebanon. Okay, but I got a lot to say about that. But if it's up to me, I'm like, let's go. We doing the Crusades part. What are we on? 4 or 5? What number crusade we on? Okay, we restarting the crusade. We restoring all the Middle Eastern Christian states.
Right.
Okay, we restoring Christian Egypt, Christian Iran, Christian Syria. Is that what we doing? Listen, don't threaten me with a good time. But the problem is that even if our young men and women are sent over there, we're not going to get to keep any of that.
No, it's not. It's just
why?
It's because all we do is kind of throw it in. First of all, Israel can handle themselves if we just took our foot off the throat of them and stop saying we support Israel. But there's always a but between when Harris says it or Biden says always Israel has the right to defend themselves. But listen. If y'all feel froggish, leave. Okay, that is my message to you. I'm tired of the straddling the fence. I'm tired of this. We're almost in imminent World War III. Either we're going to have World War III or we're not going to have World War III. Preferably, we don't have World War III because right now, all of us together have to stand up against the global elites that are trying to dominate us, eradicate us, and depopulate us so that they can completely control over us. Okay? But if y'all want World War III and y'all really feel froggish, leave. Light this candle and let's get it going. Okay? Or don't. Preferably don't. But let's have peace if that's what's going to be. Stop poking each other in the eye and let's get at it. Go ahead. Oh no, I agree 100%. It's just like I said, this administration has done nothing but, they have no problem throwing their support 100% behind Ukraine, but it's like with Israel, because it's all for votes. It's all for votes because their voting base, they have a big voting base that is Muslim, so they want to make sure that they don't upset them too much. So it's always, like I said, anytime there's a but in your statement, it means you really didn't believe what you just said. You basically you got to justify it now because to please another group or this and that. So Israel has the right to defend themselves, but, and it's insane to me because Harris is doing the same thing that Biden did, just trying to please everyone. And when you try to do that, you end up making a lot of people mad.
Your voice is important, but I'm talking now. If you guys missed it, there were some Palestinian protesters at her event the other day, and that was what she said.
And I hear you, but
and I feel, and you said two things interesting. You said that a lot of their supporters are Muslim. I don't think that's true. I don't honestly think that's true. I think they're these new age fake Muslims that aren't really Muslims, that are some white kids from the suburbs that are now talking about, I'm Muslim, but I'm a queer for Palestine.
Yeah, right.
What?
Yeah, it makes no sense because they have no clue what's even in being a Muslim or
ask the Muslims in Minneapolis what time it is. Okay, you'll find out real quick.
Yeah, right. And like you said, with as far as the gays for Palestine and this and that, and Netanyahu even said it's insanity, dude. For that, it's a statement that doesn't even make sense. It's like you're defending someone that really would kill you in a second if they knew you were gay, and it's not reality. But most of those people who are doing it don't even understand that. They don't even know that fact. They just go out there because they're social justice warriors, and that's what they do. And they think, their friend tells them that's the right thing to do, so we're gonna go do it.
They just desperately they need Jesus. I'm gonna be frank right now. They need Jesus. They need Jesus because they have an empty hole in their soul, and they're desperately seeking belonging. But that's because they don't have the Father inside of them. They don't have the Holy Spirit. They haven't looked into Jesus and his teaching so that they can draw closer to our Father in heaven above. And that's the largest part, because people feel disconnected. And if you've been paying attention to what the government's been doing, they've been trying to make people more and more disconnected. Guess what happened this week? Apparently, there was a phone call that went out this week, which was a survey from the RCSD. Now, as you know, the RCSD is the second largest school budget in the whole country. So they ain't wanting for money. And they got less schools, less teachers, and less everything every single year, but they always get more and more money. So it's very interesting. But they said, hey, we just want to get your opinion on, well, we're thinking about doing at-home schooling and digital schooling. We want your opinion and your thoughts on that. What? We doing this again? Did we not just see what happened to all those youths and all those children and how bad it impacted them socially and everything else? They want it because they know that they are easier to control when they feel separate from other people.
Yes, absolutely. It's a fact.
It's insane. It's insane. But I really appreciate you guys all that are listening to the show right now. Remember, if you're listening to us right now, like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Sharing is the best thing that you can do if you're listening to us online and you're listening to The Divide on WRFZ 106.3. Tell all your friends, 2:30 to 4 p.m. every Monday. Tune in, because we're here bringing it to you, the information that you need and having the conversations that are important. And thank you. We're going to keep going right now. So as we really start to get into some serious topics, you also mentioned Ukraine, brother.
Yeah.
You know, did you hear what happened in Ukraine overnight?
Yeah. Supposedly they moved into Russian territory.
Now they're claiming they have 1,000 square miles of Russian territory. Curse.
Yeah.
I think that's how you say it. In curse. Man, y'all can't even hold your own territory. What are you doing? What are you doing? You can't hold your own territory in Ukraine, talking about you're going to hold some territory in Russia. Why? Are you trying to get them to blow up Kyiv? Right. Are you what are you really what are you doing?
They're trying to spread the Russian military thin. You know, that's their goal, to try to spread them thin. But
I feel like they're trying to activate the Russian people. Okay, because the Russia. Let's talk about Afghanistan. Okay, there's a great story, and you guys can look this up. This is a real thing. So the British tried to occupy Afghanistan. Okay, that, you know, when they were conquesting everything in the turn of the last century, the previous century. So they tried to occupy Afghanistan, and they had a whole bunch of people there. They were ruling and stuff like that, and they tried to bring them culture. You know, they tried to, what do they say? What's the thing? What do you do with the savages? Make them what? What is it? They would say? I don't know. Anyway, make them not savages. Whatever that is. I can't remember. You know, but they civilize them. That's what it was. They're going to civilize them. So they were in there, and what happened was they didn't understand that the Afghan people were a very strong and proud people, and all they knew were basically pain, suffering, hardship, and power, right? So they wasn't out there busting people's heads open in the streets, which is what needed to happen for the people in Afghanistan to say, hey, okay, well, we got you. They were all out there trying to be all civilized, all these laws and all of this, and this is how we do this. They wasn't trying to hear none of that. So eventually, the Afghans ran them all out, killed all of them. You know who escaped? One dude and a horse. And a horse died. This is not a joke. Like, you guys can, this is real. This is real history. You can go look it up. It's so amazing. Okay. A similar thing happened when Russia went in there.
Yep.
Okay. Even though that was us, really. That was us, and we funded the Taliban at the time. The Mujahideen. Go look that up. Okay. Osama and all them people was our homies. Yep. And then all of a sudden we talk about they ain't our homies. Come on, man. That seems sus. Okay. The CIA was all up and down through that. And I'm going to leave that there. I ain't going to talk too much about that, because I like my brains inside my body and my blood in there too. Okay. So, but I'm telling you, look it up. Look it up. But the thing that people don't understand about Russia is really serious about their territory. Why do you think that they're concerned about Ukraine right now? Because they're concerned about the ethnic Russians that are inside, inside eastern Ukraine, that they were massacring which we can't even talk about. Okay, they were massacring the ethnic Russians that lived in Ukraine, because everybody knows so daggone much about Ukraine and their history.
If you were to survey somehow all those Russians in Ukraine, they actually prefer to be under the control of Russia. And it's
well, they have
talks about that though.
Well, but they were supposed to be autonomous places inside the country, and the country and Ukraine said, yeah. But then they started killing their people. So that's when they asked Russia to step in, but that's not the point. The point is that Russia has an interest in Ukraine there because they're so close to Russia, and the land right there is hard to defend if they started to put missiles and stuff and troops inside Ukraine. That's why Ukraine used to be one of the border states that they had in the what do you call it? The Iron Curtain, right? So in the what's the other word for it? The Warsaw Pact.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why they're very concerned about all of that. And we look at it right now. What is the history of Russia and war? You go into Russia, Russia doesn't give a flying monkey's uncle. The second that you go into Russia, they will burn the country down so that they make sure that you lose. Russia is not playing that. They will throw everybody, including babushka grandma, at you to make sure that you lose. They will take men with literal potatoes, put them out on the field to have them throw potatoes at you to make sure that you lose. They are not about that life. So if you want to activate all of the Russian citizens, yeah, go on inside Russia and just prove Vladimir Putin right about what he's been talking about this whole time. Like the whole conversation is, oh, Putin's crazy.
Yeah.
They're not trying to do what he's talking about. And then you go and do what he's talking about. Then you go and do what he's talking about. Like you're proving the man right. So the people inside Russia see this. They see what's happening. They know that you were killing off their people in Ukraine. They know that you're encroaching on their areas and getting very close. And they know that you keep telling them that you hate them and you don't like them. If people that tell you that they hate you and don't like you keep getting closer and closer to where you live, are you going to work to stop that from happening or what?
Yeah, right.
And we look at it very simply. Now they're talking about they're in there 1,000 square miles in, and they've got 1,000 square miles of territory in Russia. Do you want again? Do you want World War III? Like, is this what we're doing? And remember, the U.S. and the European Union and the rest of them are all funding them and giving them weapons and stuff like that. And none of them had the good idea to say, "Hey, don't do that."
Right? It's supposed to be to defend yourself. They, supposedly. Now it's like, oh wait, you're going on a conquering mission. So
well, because they didn't say that they attacked these places or whatever. They said they control. So when you say this is from their defense ministry, okay, in Ukraine, they said that the military said that they have taken it and they control it.
Yes,
you control you don't conquested it, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
So that's what you're telling me, So the average Russian hears that and they're like, oh,
yeah, wait a minute here. How much farther are they going to come? So.
And that's the whole conversation there. So we are largely on skill in preparation to go to war everywhere when our military in the United States is depleted. We don't have enough aircraft. We don't have enough ships. We don't have enough even munitions, honestly.
Yeah, and definitely not enough soldiers.
So. Definitely not enough soldiers. And you can talk about all the drones and all the this and all of that you want. I'm sorry, it's not enough because we don't have the production ability to produce them in the numbers and the time that we have. If we wanted to, this whole administration should have been beefing up our military, talking about they care so much. What have they done to beef up our military? Nothing.
Let us fall behind technologically with the hypersonic missiles and all that. It's insane.
It's insane. Now China's conquering the moon. Talking about we're in control of the moon. Then these people, don't let me get started, because I've been told Kamala and Biden about themselves, and there was it $2.4 billion, or no, might even be $1 trillion. I don't know. Some big thing that they're putting to put a moon train in. A moon train. We barely got trains that work in the U.S. right now.
Insane.
You're talking about a moon train? Why do I need a moon train?
Right, to go where?
Where's the moon train going? What is on the moon that we need a moon train for?
What's the stops for? Stop 1 is at where? Nowhere land. Stop 2 is at nowhere land.
Listen, but this is and isn't this the whole conversation that they've been lying to us about the moon for so many years? That there are secret military bases on the moon.
Yeah.
We've all heard that stuff. We don't know whether it's true or not. I mean, Well, we won't go into that too far, but we don't know if it's true or not. But now with them talking about they're going to build a moon train,
Yeah.
I mean, that makes me ask questions. Well, are there bases on the moon like
Right.
we've heard? You know, is that what's happened? I mean, we still got the concept that there might still be Nazis on the moon, which is a whole. It sounds like a joke, but we don't know.
Right.
We don't know. Our whole NASA, all of the NASA scientists that helped us get to the moon, allegedly, were all from Nazi Germany, and they had plans to colonize Mars back then when we were starting to go to the moon.
Yep.
So if that was the case, we don't know what is really going on, and they won't tell us anything. But we do know China says that the whole dark side of the moon is theirs.
Yep.
So now we're going to be what, in war in outer space?
Yeah. Space Force. I mean, they laughed at it when it was implemented, but
I'm in full support of Space Force. I think that Space Force gets laughed at and they don't get the resources that they need and stuff like that. I think that we need to be pouring a ton of money into
all of a
them.
sudden hypersonic missiles come around and things like that, and it's like, wait, maybe it wasn't such a laugh.
Listen, I still stand by. There's this, and I gotta find it, and we'll talk about it on another show. There is this thing that the president signed. I believe it was Clinton, and he signed the thing that said basically that the United States controls outer space. And I want to remind everybody that's listening and watching, at the end of the day and at the beginning of the day, I'm 100% American. I'm all about America first. I'm all about USA, USA, USA. Okay. So in that document that they signed, the Congress said that the whole of outer space belongs to the United States. I firmly stand by that.
Yeah.
We control the whole outer space and can't nobody have none. Now we need to make sure that they can't have none.
Yeah.
Okay. I firmly stand by that. Okay. You know, and I laugh and I joke. I'm so serious. I'm so serious. But the fact of the matter is our enemies are working on our extremities because we haven't built ourselves up to be what we should be. I want America to be the America that Japan thinks that we are. Okay. I want us to be the hard behind, gun toting. Okay. We end everything with aggressive, high level, extreme action.
Yeah.
And
fast and firm, just.
Yep. And we don't play none. We don't take none and we don't play none. I want to be that America that Japan thinks that we are. That's what I want to be.
Yep.
Okay. Whenever they have us in their animes and stuff like that or their movies, we're always really badass.
Yeah.
I want to be that. I want to be that America. Okay.
No, it's true though. I mean, the America right now that the world is seeing is one that, it again straddles fences, doesn't, if there's an attack on us, whatever, maybe we'll react, maybe we won't. If you take our people hostage, we'll give you money, we'll negotiate with you, even though we're supposed to not negotiate with terrorists. Now apparently that went down the tubes a while ago. So
listen, I support Imperial America, so don't get me started. Okay, I'm all about American expansion. Go west, young man. Go east, young man. Go north, go south. Take it all. Okay, one government under the authority of the United States. And that's why I am so anti-globalist.
Yeah.
That's why I am so against them trying to put us all together, because at the end of the day, when they're doing it like that, the way that they're doing it, they are erasing the United States of America.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
And I'm not having none of it. I'm not for none of that. Okay. And I wish the CIA would get back to the way that they started off with the OSS and stuff like that. And I wish that they really would be all about America again. But I think largely they've been infiltrated in the bureaucracy part of them.
For sure.
And now their plans and stuff that they have are not so focused on the US. They're focused on their own personal individual missions, and they're focused on this globalist agenda.
Well, I mean, they tell you straight up that if you talk about America first, it's racist, it's xenophobic, it says, and it's not one bit. It's America first. If you live in America, you should want. If you work for a company, don't you put that company first over all other companies, or do you share secrets with them? Do you allow them to let's have our CEO make that other company better too? No, the CEO makes your company better. That's it. And to say that make America great again or America first is in any way other than good. I mean, it's insanity, but they've convinced half this population that's true. And it's sad to see these people walking around thinking that America is You know, I love the people who are, you know, stolen land, this and that, but they have no problem doing whatever they want on this land. You know,
Well, maybe if it's stolen land, get off it.
yeah, exactly.
Just leave.
Go find a spot in this
Leave.
world that isn't stolen land.
Leave. I know, but I'm so serious. If you really feel that way, put your money where your mouth
That's what I'm
is.
saying. They have no problem saying it, but they live there. They have no problem living here and shopping here.
Every week I get on this show, I encourage people to go take part in civics locally, to go out to their county legislator meetings and see what's going on there, go to their school board, go to their city council, or run for office. Do it. But you know what? I put my money where my mouth is. I get up and I go do those things. I'm not out here trying to encourage you to do something that I'm not about to do. I'm actually doing it. So when these people say, oh, well, America is so terrible, America is terrible, it's stolen land, get out.
Yeah.
Get out. Put your money where your mouth is. Get out. Get out. You know, I really love my country because we don't have anywhere else to go. America,
No, this is the last stop. Final frontier right here.
if America falls tomorrow, who's taking us? Anybody? Mexico don't want us.
No.
Mexico's kicking Americans out right now,
Right.
shutting down their bank accounts.
Brazil don't want
taking
us.
Brazil definitely don't want us, you know. And then you got Canada don't want us.
No.
They stopped taking us years ago.
Right.
Okay, so where are we gonna go? Then we got two oceans between us. People have been going over to Africa. The Africans been treating Americans like trash, and I'm talking Black Americans. Okay, so more or less, they definitely don't want nobody else over there. Europe can't even handle their own people. They got their own problems. Okay, maybe I'll move. Maybe Hungary or Poland. You know,
Hungary won't take anybody over their borders. Maybe Americans, but that's about it. They close their borders.
Look, Hungary and Poland looking really good to me right about now. Christian nations that are standing on business right now. Okay, defending heterosexual marriage and stuff like that. I'm like, wow. You know,
an extremely conservative leader with leading an extremely conservative country. I like that. Yeah, Poland too.
Poland too. You know, even though they're on a little bit two different frequencies, but they're both very, very similar. I mean, I got a friend that goes over to Hungary all the time. I met this girl at this conference I think it was last year, and I was asking her about Hungary, right? Because all I know about Hungary is Austrian-Hungarian Empire and stuff like that. I don't know a lot about Hungary. I see some news reports and stuff about that. In my head, Hungary doesn't like Black people. Okay, am I wrong? Hello, the Nazis, right? And they gave us freaking this guy. What's his name? Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay, Mr. F your freedoms. What do you mean, bro? Nazi self. Okay, but so I don't know. You know, so I was talking to her. You know, she was really nice. It was a great conversation and everything. She made me want to go to Hungary, bro. I'm trying to tell you, I should have got her number and stayed in contact with her because I'd probably be over there back and forth like some of my other friends go over there like that. Because I'm like, I appreciate that. As Americans, we don't even have that in our own country.
No.
We don't. There's nowhere like. I was talking to a friend in Tennessee because I was looking at Tennessee for some years and stuff like that, and they were like, "Listen, Tennessee's all full up. We're not trying to take nobody." I was rolling, but also we've seen that all of these chemical spills and stuff have been happening in the Missouri and in the Mississippi. Somehow putting all of these chemicals into all of the lands that would be close to nice that you might want to try to live off grid in. It's very interesting happenings.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, very interesting happenings there. But where do we go? And this is why I tell people that they need to stand up and they need to fight back on the level of politics by getting into positions of power, by engaging with elected officials and going to make sure that you're advocating for policies that are going to make a difference in our communities. Because if we don't do it, nobody is. Somebody said, "Oh, well, I'm moving from New York." I said, "Where are you gonna go?"
Yeah.
The fight's here. The fight is here. Look at California, right? California crumbled.
Yeah.
And now it's so bad, it's infected Washington State.
Oh, so bad. Yep.
It's infected.
Yes.
It's infected Colorado. When I was little, Colorado used to be solid red. Everybody's like, "Oh, they're all gun-toting country." You know what I'm saying?
And if you look at geographically, they still are. But when you get those masses in the cities, it's
and even it's starting to be in where the Mormons from? Utah.
Yep.
Utah, bro.
Yeah.
And then they've taken over Nevada.
Yeah.
They've taken over New Mexico.
Yeah.
New Mexico, bro.
Yeah, right. New Mexico.
Wow. And now they're into Texas. Houston, Dallas?
Austin's the worst one.
Wow. And Austin's the capital.
Yeah.
So where do we have that we're going to be safe at? Nowhere, because it is a cancer. This Marxist agenda is a cancer that is being used by the globalists to distort and destabilize our country, because these people that call themselves socialists or progressives or whatever are being used and manipulated by the globalists to destabilize our government and to turn the rest of the American people to focus on them, when they're so what's a nice way to say it? Poorly focused, that they don't see that they're being manipulated.
Oh yeah, they're useful idiots, and and then like you said about leaving, they leave California because it gets so bad, but then they bring their stupid voting habits to these other states. It's like you're voting for the same thing that wrecked your state, and you don't see something wrong with that. But
that's it, 100%.
It's insanity.
100%. And if you guys are listening right now, make sure that you like, subscribe, and share wherever you're listening. Make sure that you share to get the information out there, so that other people know that there are real conversations being had that they need to hear. Because if we're not starting to open up public discourse now, we're never going to have that public discourse. It is rapidly eroding. They're putting more laws in to make it more difficult for us to speak freely. They want to, many of you listening probably have been deplatformed, or you've had your posts taken down over innocuous stuff. I had a guy said, "Oh, he said, "Oh, I'm celebrating because I'm going," I don't know where he was going, to barbecue or something. And they took his post down. Now this guy's left progressive, way left.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he didn't even say anything crazy. He just put some real innocuous thing, like I'm going to barbecue or something.
Yeah.
Simple. And they banned it. They said, no, this content is flagged. You can't put that up there. What? But this goes to show you that they are slowly working on cultivating everything that they want into the narrative. They don't want you to put anything outside of it. And they're starting to implement the technological thing so that they can
with their
control
quote-unquote fact checkers that check opinions. And it's like, and I love it when it starts off saying, well, there are factually correct things in this, but it may be taken out of context. Well, what you're saying is it's factual, but you don't like the context, so you're gonna flag it. That's exactly what you're saying.
Partially false.
Yes,
that's
partially false.
Yeah,
partially false. So, well, it's crazy to see that fact checkers check opinions, and that's if it's against their opinion, they check. I'm like, that's not a fact. You can't check an opinion. That's
right.
I mean, come on.
Then they'll cite opinion pieces.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, this is my evidence right here. Another opinion. But it's insanity.
It's insanity. But they're stripping us. Last year, Kathy Hochul. Is it last year? Maybe it's the beginning of this year. But Kathy Hochul, the high priestess of New York State, she got out there and said, I have directed the department of, what was it? The department, it was like the department, the board, the DHS, right?
Yeah.
I have directed the Department of Homeland Security. First of all, since when did you get that authority? You're not the president.
Right.
Number one, to work with me in commissioning a program in the schools to teach kids about, what was the order of the stuff? About misinformation, disinformation, and racism and hate speech and stuff like that. I'm like,
inherent bias was one of them.
Inherent bias. Yeah.
It's like misinformation. Remember they had they were going to bring on that director of misinformation.
Yes.
And people finally were like, whoa, wait a minute.
The Ministry of Truth.
Ministry of
Truth.
Really
the Ministry.
I mean, that's
go
scary
read
stuff.
1984.
Yes, I was just going to say, to go read 1984 and you'll see that. Like, that's insanity. That was that woman who made that Mary Poppins song and stuff.
Crazy. But these are the people running our country, and then they get mad. You guys, listen to me closely. If you're on the left, if you are a Democrat or you're progressive or whatever, they are lying to you about Project 2025. Okay, it is to shrink the government and to take away their ability to create all of these regulations without making them laws. Okay, it's not about any of that other crazy nonsense that they're telling you. But I say that to point out this: that crazy lady that he's talking about, that was going to be the head of the Ministry of Truth that they had, the Ministry of Misinformation or whatever it was called. These are the people that are running our bureaucracies and our departments. These people are disjointed from basic reality. I might not agree with you. You might not agree with me. We might agree sometimes. We might not never agree. But one thing that we can agree is that some of these people are,
and the fact that our elected officials are only like 1% of the people in Washington. Remember that. So the people in Washington that are running the show aren't the elected officials that we elected. They're these bureaucrats that are all behind the scenes that have been there for 30, 40, 50 years and just have gone from administration to administration to administration and just keep, the
shrink the bureaucracy.
Exactly. The Jake Sullivans of the world and all people like that.
That's what the Project 2025 is about shrinking the bureaucracy, you guys. And remember when Trump was president? You might not remember it, but I'm gonna cue you up on this thought. Remember when he was president and they said that, oh, he stopped hiring, he put a hiring freeze on the government. They're like, oh, without them hiring all these people, hundreds of thousands of people, everything is gonna collapse, everything is gonna collapse. What collapsed?
Nothing.
What changed?
Nothing.
Nothing happened. So this is what we need to understand. The government is extremely good at one job, making itself bigger and more bloated off of your tax money.
Correct.
And that's it. It's your tax money that they're spending to help prop up themselves. Instead of them propping you up as an American citizen, they're propping themselves up.
Exactly. They're no longer public servants. They serve themselves and themselves only. It's crazy because if you see who donates to someone's campaign, you're going to know the favors they owe to, and to who they're going to owe those favors to. And you watch a lot of these people come in with these great ideas, and then this is my ideology, and then their ideology just buckles and changes. And you look at their voting, and they're like, well, why are they voting like this? Well, because look who donated to their campaign.
Speaking of which, I'm running for state assembly right now, and I encourage you to donate to my campaign, whether you're local or you're not local. Donate anyway, and if you're local, definitely volunteer. www.marcus4rochester.com. That's Marcus4rochester.com. Because everything I talk about is everything that I stand on. I've stood on this since I was in high school. Okay, before I knew anything about politics, it's still the same things that I.
When does early voting start, by the way?
Early voting starts October 22nd. Right. 26th. Excuse me.
Right.
October 26th through November 3rd.
All right.
And election day is November 5th this year.
Yep.
So we got a very large election coming up. Very large
huge.
For the local candidates.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that's the government that matters most, believe it or not.
The state level. Okay. Listen, and if you're in my area, I don't care who you vote for president. Okay. I kind of do. Mostly not. Okay. I kind of do mostly not. Just vote for me. That's all I'm asking. I don't care. No. Yeah. And I encourage anybody right now, if you're Democrat or you're independent, in November, in election time, vote Republican. You don't even need to change your party to do it.
No.
And that's
you're allowed
so
to vote
important.
wherever you want, no matter what you're registered.
Right. Also, vote Republican, vote Marcus C. Williams, 137th New York State Assembly. Shameless plug. All right. So, but the thing is that when we have these local state level elections or county elections or whatever it is, we need to be getting out and voting in mass. Mm-hmm. We just had primary elections, and in the Democrat primary, there was like 3% came out.
Yeah, it was crazy, right?
In the Republican primary, it wasn't very much better. It was like 2 or 4% came out. It wasn't much better. So this just shows you the lack of enthusiasm. Now they're trying to make this Kamala Harris everybody's so enthusiastic about Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris has basically made these promises over the last 2 days, 3 days maybe, the weekend since last Wednesday. And she's promised things like, we're going to close the border.
Yeah, no tax on tips now.
No tax on tips. But wait, you are in office right now.
Right.
You're the president of the Senate.
That was the best line yet. When she said about the border, she's like, I will fix the border. It's not an easy thing to do, but I will fix that border. It's like, you've been in charge of the border for 3.5 years.
Hello.
Like, what's going on?
Well, what is it? Here's the thing. If they're in charge right now, and any of you Kamala Harris supporters right now, any of you Joe Biden supporters, okay, they're in charge right now. Demand it from them tomorrow.
Yes.
They talking about no tax on tips. Tell them you want to see it tomorrow. Okay, tell them put the legislation for tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay, she's still the president of the Senate. She can still get this stuff going. Yep. If she really doesn't want any tax on tips, it'll be a piece of legislation tomorrow. Okay, and it should only be a single line of legislation. No tax on tips. That's it. No other extra omnibus nonsense. That's it. It'll get passed tomorrow.
Yep.
Because nobody's gonna vote no. Well, some people will vote no on it, but ain't nobody really gonna vote no on that. Okay, and then it'll be done before the election. Show me that you got something to show us. But right now, we've seen all of their policies and nothing has helped the American people.
Nope.
And I listen to the people that really support them for whatever reason, and I ask them why. And they're like, because Trump's a bad man. He's going to take away our rights and our freedoms, and he's going to do all of this. Well, did it happen the last time he was in office?
Exactly.
No, it didn't happen. But he's going to do it this time with that Project 2025 and all of this and all of that. Well, what freedoms are you concerned that he's going to take away?
Exactly.
Well, my rights to kill babies, they're going to take away that. What do you mean? What do you mean? It's been pushed to the state level.
Exactly.
They can't do anything. The president has no control over that. He is a figurehead at the top of everything.
It's
if
that
you're
simple.
so concerned of that, you'd be concerned about Congress. But I guarantee you, you don't even know who your congressman is.
Yeah, right. No, you're right though. They're saying if you ask them why they're voting for, I want to know what policies you like about Harris that administration's implemented, and what policies or what you've heard or what Trump has done to make you think that he's going to put us all in camps and he's going to take away, he's going to ruin the democracy and he's going to take away all this stuff and all your rights. I mean, it just doesn't, just because you heard it on X or Facebook doesn't make it true. It's just people just repeating stuff over and over again.
Listen, I need you guys to actually demand tangibles from Kamala Harris since she's running for president and you care about her so much. Listen, I'm not voting for her. There's no way, because she done come out. First of all, she done come out as she was black. They talking about she's black. Now, okay, now I'm upset. Like I was mad before. Yeah. Now I'm livid because now the Democrats just released a video. The Democrats, this is on their Twitter right now, on their X. Go check it out. It says that they did it yesterday or the day before. It says that Kamala Harris is African American. Lord have mercy.
Yeah,
Lord have mercy. Hold on,
not.
Brian, give me 2 seconds, okay? Hey, Lord have mercy, okay? When she was black, when you said she was black, it was bad enough insult to Black Americans. Now you're saying that she is African American? Absolutely not even a little bit. Absolutely. Her mom is Indian, red dot, not feather. Black Americans, whatever you consider us, African Americans, we're feather, not red dot. Okay, yeah. We're feather Indian, not red dot Indian. Okay, her dad is red dot Indian and Irish from Jamaica. He ain't even Jamaican black.
No.
Okay, but you would consider Jamaican black, even though Jamaicans don't consider themselves black.
No,
so I'm sorry if I offended any Jamaicans by saying that you were black. My bad. You know I don't usually say that. I'm just giving context to other people that don't understand the intricacies.
Exactly.
But this is real. And now they're saying that she's African American. She is not a foundational Black American. She has no ties to American descendants of slavery in the continental U.S. She has no ties to American Indians in the United States of America. She is not us. Then she had the nerve to play Kendrick Lamar. They not like us at her her event, and the whole song is about these people perpetrating a fraud on Black Americans, talking about that they're us when they're not us.
Right.
Specifically, they was talking about Drake, but at least Drake is a little bit mixed. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a little bit but compared to Kamala Harris, like she ain't got none of that at all.
No.
None of that at all. She's perpetrating a fraud, and that was what really made me upset. So when I say this, it is out of 100% love. It is no hate whatsoever. If you support that woman, who I can't because she ain't got not near one policy for me that I can support. She ain't got no policies. She ain't got none, zero. And I've seen what they've done in office, and they had no policies when they was in office except let all the illegal aliens in, let our country collapse, shut down businesses, overregulate the country, and do all of this other nonsense, spend money on infrastructure projects that never materialize. Where's that $6 billion, Buttigieg? Where's that money?
Yeah, right.
You built 2 electronic charging stations for $6 billion would be? Come on now, stop playing in my face. This whole administration is jacked up. But if you believe, don't let me get too emotional, okay? I got some real serious thoughts and feelings on it. If you support Kamala Harris, okay? If you support the Democrats, okay? I need you to ask them for tangible policies that are not related to something to do with abortion. Anything aside from that, what else do they have? What else do they have? You know, they're like, oh, well, we're going to lower prices of pharmaceuticals and stuff like that. You've been in office for 4 years.
Exactly.
You struck down a bill that Trump put in when he was in office that would have lowered not only all the cost of prescription drugs, every single one is called the First Nation, Most Favored Nations Clause, but it would have not only cut down on the drug costs, but it would have also cut down on medical procedure costs.
Yep.
Okay, but we can't talk about that. But you guys have 4 years to do something like that.
And now you're going to do all this. Now you're going to fix it.
I don't believe you. I don't have any reason to believe. You haven't even made 1 inch, one move, one iota, And then the people in Congress, Jasmine Crockett, Cory Bush, who ain't in there no more. Cory Booker, the rest of them, all these people talking about, oh, well, the Republicans are stopping us. Y'all had the majority.
Yeah.
What happened? What, 3 years y'all had the majority? What happened? Nothing. Y'all didn't do nothing. Now you want to complain about the Republicans. Nobody trying to hear that.
No, and besides that border bill with the Republicans, first of all, what they don't tell you is that border bill didn't add any protection anyways. First of all, we have the means. All you have to do is enforce existing laws. That border bill just made it quicker for people to get through, process them quicker. It provided amnesty to people, and it did nothing for adding security. It ordered more agents at processing centers and allowed 3,500 people through a day. Why would that be a good bill?
Listen, whatever. Why? Listen, and this is for you, you dreamers out there, you DACA recipients out there. Ain't they been lying to you since Obama? Yep. Oh, we're gonna do something for the DACA recipients. We're gonna do something for the. We ain't seen one bill come forward from them, okay, that they pushed to do anything for the DACA recipients. Now they're talking about let's let all the illegal aliens vote. Let me ask you, as DACA recipients, right? Like you're here, technically you're here legally. Okay, do you really want these people that are here illegally to take precedence over you? I'm just saying, like, even though I don't necessarily agree with everything, I think that maybe you should get priority over these illegal aliens. You know, like y'all didn't ask to be here. Like y'all just got dropped here as kids.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't think that that's right. I think we have to have a series and level of priorities. And I think that it should first be American citizens, then it should be refugees, and then it should be you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you don't reward people for just coming in last year, breaking the law, and coming over here. You know,
like they haven't produced anything for you since Obama. When did Obama get in 08?
08. Yep.
What are we, almost 20 years out?
Yeah,
we're almost 20 years out. They ain't done nothing for you.
No, but they say they're going to right before every election. They talk about all this good game.
You know, and they're playing in your face the same way they play in the face of Black Americans.
Oh yeah, that's starting up again. The whole, you know, but. You know, and then what happens is they get elected. You don't hear shit.
Nothing.
Oh, sorry about that. It's nothing. You don't hear nothing. And it's the same time every 4 years, actually every 2 years too, but every 4 years mainly with the presidency, you hear the same thing, the same racist talk coming up. You have people, you know, like that one woman in the women for the white women for Harris. Oh, that teacher lady. She's I couldn't even listen. I'd turn that thing off.
I'm very concerned. Okay, about the Harris's campaign type of situation, the way they're going about it. They are segmenting
literally
so many Democrats to what they're like. Oh, well, we're white men. Like I thought the patriarchy was bad. I thought white men were bad. Isn't that what they told us? White men are bad?
I can't believe how they're dividing it.
So they're like cat ladies for Harris. What is going on here?
Black women first, black men first. It's just like, and then Latino women first. It's like, whoa. What? Are you literally just trying to name every group you've divided us into?
Every single group.
Seriously.
Listen, dog moms for Harris. They had a cup on their website for campaign fundraising. Dog moms for Harris.
Wow.
Like, what are we doing? Where's Americans? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Maybe Americans for Harris. I don't know. Maybe that doesn't sound crazy to me. You know.
How about just people in general just supporting Harris? You know what I mean? But it's literally and they think for some reason they're thinking it's a good thing that we're divided so much, and that you know they're getting laughed at by the elites. The elites are laughing every time they see this stuff because it means their plan's working in dividing us into segments. And you know, here's a flag, here's a month. You know, go celebrate, wave this thing. So, you know, because you should be proud of your differences and make sure everybody knows. How about you just don't even talk about it? You just do what you want to do and be who you want to be, and we'll just treat everybody equally. That doesn't happen anymore.
I don't want to be proud of my differences. I want to be proud that I'm an American.
Exactly.
And I want to be proud that I'm an individual that is me, and that's it. Everything else can do. Yeah. Okay. Am I a Black American and proud of that? Absolutely.
It's your culture.
Okay. I mean, but you know, but here's the thing. First, I'm American. Okay, then I'm me, right? Because me, part of my me identity, even if I put me first, okay, first I'm a child of God, the Almighty Father in heaven above, okay, number one, okay, above all else. But me, I can't separate my identity from America because I'm American.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm an American, not an American. Okay, you know. So when you try to start separating us and delving us down, like, yes, I'm a Black American and I support things that the Black community needs. That is a very important thing to me because it doesn't get addressed a lot.
Exactly.
But when they start segmenting us and then they give us no tangibles, they ain't got nothing. Kamala ain't got nothing for Black people. Now, one thing, at least Trump has his platinum plan, okay, which could be worked on. I like the platinum plan. I think there should be some other stuff adjusted in it to it. JD Vance has said a couple of things, some good, some I'm like, it's kind of wishy-washy there. But he said some decent things in relation to that. You know who's been on top of it though? Ann Coulter.
Really?
Ann Coulter, bro. She might get invited to the barbecue. She was on I think it was Newsmax or News Nation the other day, and she was talking about how Kamala Harris isn't a foundational Black American. She was talking about Black people, the way that we as Black Americans would like to be talked about as a class of people as with specific needs. You know, and the specific needs of our community. And I was very impressed. So anybody that's been mad at Ann Coulter for years, take a second look at her. She's earned some forgiveness, okay? She really has. I saw her speak last year, I think in Albany. I saw her speak at a dinner I was at. She did really good there. I didn't read her.
She's an intelligent woman.
She is. Yeah, but she's on point. She's really, and I know she said that Trump doesn't really listen to her or whatever anymore because they had beef because she said some stuff about him he didn't like.
Yeah.
He don't like when people talk stuff about him. You know? So I hope that he starts listening to her. I hope he gets better advisors in there with him in the room. I know I've seen some people that are advising him, and I know some people that are advising him that are good people. I just really hope that his campaign, look, I'm doing the circular thing with my hands, like the holistic thing. His campaign starts listening to some of the people, especially the Black Americans that are in there that are working to try to push
he's got that one lady from that he met at Chick-fil-A. Remember they gave him the hug? He's got her talking at his rallies now.
Yep, he's got my friend Derek Gibson, who's very supportive of them. He's got a whole bunch of other people that are good friends of mine supporting him. And I just look at it like this though. We need, so first off, the message that he's giving is a general all message for everyone in America.
Yeah.
You know, if you are American,
you're going to benefit.
You're going to benefit, you know, and some Black Americans are like, well, he's not saying anything specifically for us directly specifically, but he does have stuff specifically directly for us. He just doesn't talk about it all the time.
Yep.
I'm an environmental conservationist. You don't hear me talk about the environment all the time. You know, we got to save the environment, this, that. I don't talk about that all the time. Sometimes I talk about it. Is it important to me? Absolutely. But that can't be my whole conversation all the time. My number one thing is stop this crime and these crazy laws that we got in New York State that are destroying our state, like bail reform, cashless bail, like raise the age. Anybody under 18 can't be held in jail or anything at all. What is going on with these laws? So those are my main things. And for him, his main thing is the economy, over regulation and closing the border. Those are his three main things. He's got a couple of other things there too, but those are the main things. And so that's the song that he sings. It doesn't mean that he doesn't have other things. If you want them to address other issues, maybe you should engage them on those issues.
Yeah, exactly.
Because what I think are issues, you might not think are issues. I'm a Republican. I've been trying to get the Republicans in New York State to address the need for reparations as an issue in New York State. And you'll say, well, Marcus, how could you support that if you're a Republican? Two reasons. One, because the Democrats are lying to Black people face in New York State. They just put $23 million into a commission on reparations, which ain't never going to do nothing. And it's just taking your tax money out of your pocket. So, and two, we need to be the voice in that room of reasonability. Because what they're talking about, giving all this money away and all of this stuff, even if it were to happen, not only will it collapse the economy for everybody, it hit hard on hyperinflation. And on top of that, it's going to put Black Americans in a worse place than where we were. So we need to be the actual voice in the room of reason, and we can actually get some tangibles. But you'll say, well, Marcus, I'm not trying to hear it, because originally the concept surrounding reparations, and this is where us as Republicans need to have a real conversation. Us as conservatives need to have a real conversation. Reparations comes from the promise, of the end of the war, where General Sherman, Tecumseh Sherman, said that he was going to give out 40 acres and a mule. That did not happen, even though it was a general order that was supposed to happen, because the white Democrat Southerners, okay, tried to stop it from happening. Then there was this program for black farmers, okay, that ended up getting eviscerated, okay. Then there was the what's the Homestead Act, and then blacks were denied from the Homestead Act, which basically you can go and claim land and you get like 100 acres of land around that area, and blacks were systematically denied from that, okay. So when you say, oh, no reparations are owed, well, I mean, it depends on how you look at it. If somebody made a promise, should that promise not be honored? Because remember the reason, this is the important part. Remember the reason why it was denied. White Democrats, white Democrats, racist Democrats during the Reconstruction. Like, go look at, you really need to read some books on Reconstruction and what really happened in America. During the Reconstruction, stopped all of that from happening. Before the Reconstruction, right after the Civil War, there were more black Americans in the House of Representatives and in the Senate on the federal congressional level than there are today. So if Democrats really cared, why is that not a difference now? Why are we not able to talk about that? But they want to tear down statues. So you don't remember the history. When you start to tear down statues, not only do you erase history, you erase the promises thereof. So we need to have a voice in this conversation, whether you believe it or not, because the Democrats are not only pushing this and lying about it. If the Democrats have any part of their way in it, they're going to use that to collapse our society. And you need to wake up.
Just like they did with the welfare state.
Just like, thank you. That right there.
I mean,
that right there.
The Black America, that if you look at the statistics, there was more two-family homes with their children growing up with black, in the black community than there was in the white back then. Average wage was going up faster among black people than it was with whites. And what happened when the welfare state came in? Everything reversed, and everything was going up.
Exactly. And it's the same thing during the Great Depression with all of those expansion of social welfare programs. Before that, they did that, and it eviscerated the middle and the working class. And the crazy thing is we talk about inflation and stuff now very softly. When if you adjust for the cost and the value of the dollar, what you were getting paid during the Depression, even the little meager portions they had during the Great Depression, was more than what we have working 2-3 jobs today.
It's insane.
It's absolutely insane. So there is a conversation there to be had about reparations, and you need to jump on it as Republicans, especially because the Democrats are now trying to ease in. Oh, we need to give it to the Caribbeans, and we need to give it to the Africans from Africa. Absolutely not. Don't you let them do that, Republicans. Don't you let them do that. You owe us a debt. You said that you were going to do it. Do it. Okay? America keeps their promises to Americans. And not only will it help us, it'll help all of America. And I know people would say, hey, it won't, or whatever the case is. See, because you're looking at it wrong, because they're talking about giving money.
Cash.
Talking cash. I'm not talking cash. Reopen the Homestead Act, okay? Give all the federal land. Anybody that wants some of that federal land that has ties to genealogy in this country, to slave origin in the continental U.S. or Native American origin in the United States that is a Black American, let them go take the government land.
Right.
Why has the government got the land anyway?
Same with education. Allow free educations.
Well, but that's a separate conversation, because we also had all this money that was supposed to be put for Black schools during that time, and we can't talk about that. I'm telling you, there's legislation out there that was put out there during that time that was systematically eroded during the Reconstruction and right thereafter. Those Jim Crow laws, all of that was implemented by the Democrats. So we really need to have that conversation. We've gotten to this whole point, and well, it's only specifically for Black people. They shouldn't get something that's specifically for them. Why not? Why not? We're paying Afghanistan all this money to rebuild their country.
Right.
Every month we send them like $300 million, and we're paying for all the people we blew up. We're paying them for the Taliban salaries. Okay, every single month. Listen, I'm not a criminal. I'm not a hijacker. But all I'm saying is maybe that plane might need to go missing. Okay, I don't know. Y'all got some guys that know some stuff about some planes and stuff like that. Because I'm just saying, $300 million that they sending over there in palletized money. I'm not saying anything. I'm just wondering.
Right.
It's just a thought in my head, you know. But I say this because we paid everybody else. We paid the Japanese reparations, okay, when we put them in internment camps here in America. We paid the Jewish people reparations, and we didn't even have anything to do with that. And we helped fund them founding Israel. We didn't have anything to do with that. So we're giving all of this money out to all these other countries. There are ways for us to actually benefit our own country and our own people. But you can't take it from the small angle of, oh, well, it's just for Black people. That's why I'm saying tax-free status for 13 generations. That's my push. Tax-free status for Black Americans of slave origin or of Native American origin. And to reopen the Homesteading Act. Okay, there's no cash there at all because there doesn't need to be any cash. However, I would like the taxes back that we've already paid, but that's a separate conversation. So, but those two things, because it's not taking money from anybody. It's not taking any money from anybody, and there are already things that we already have the groundwork for.
Well, the Democrats' plan is to have everybody else pay for it.
Well, because and I don't want them to pay for it. And just give me the federal land. Give us tax-free status. That's not asking a lot. That could be done with a stroke of a pen. We already have it in the Native Americans have it. Okay, there's questions on who Native Americans are, but that's a whole separate conversation for another show. But we've got those things already that we can do and we can implement easily. Oh yeah, easily. But Republicans have to be the voice in the room of reasonability, and we've gotten so far away from that we shy away from topics that we really should be getting involved with because, oh, we think it'll be unpopular or whatever. Republicans have always been the voice of reason in this country, and now we're starting to get away from that. And for me, as a Republican, it is concerning because first and foremost, I stand on the Constitution, and I start to see them moving away from that. And that's a problem. So all of you constitutionalists, all of you real true conservative Republicans, you need to start standing up and start speaking out against some of this stuff. Okay, don't let them threaten you with, oh, they're going to kick you out of the party or oh this or oh that. Okay, because the fact of the matter is the only people that aren't standing up for republicanism are the people that are trying to soften the Republican Party to make it look more amenable so that more people from other things and segments of the population can join instead of standing on tradition and principles. And that's why everything's jacked up right now.
Yeah, I agree. That was good. That was a good monologue right there.
Thank you kindly. Now,
it looks like we're coming to an end. So
we're getting ready to get out of here, you guys. So I want to thank you guys for watching this show again. Like, subscribe, share, definitely share, please. It's important that this message gets out to more people every Monday, 2:30 to 4 p.m. WRFZ 106.3 Rochester Free Radio. You're listening to The Divide with Marcus C. Williams and
Ryan McKenzie.
And we're here. Please share this, like this, and if you want to donate to my campaign, please do. www.marcus4rochester.com. That's Marcus4rochester.com. I'm fighting for values that are real and things that will be impactful with real policy and real legislation in New York State. Thank you. I appreciate you all. We have to save all of our country, and it starts at home.
Get out there and vote. Make sure you do. Vote early and bring other people to vote.
Listen, I'm a vote early, vote often person. I'm going early, and then I'm going to go back on the day of just to make sure they counted my vote already.
Yep.
So you guys get out there, get active, and remember, stand up, speak up, and don't shut up. Take action. Be blessed and be well. We'll catch you next week. All right, we're out of here, guys. I'll catch you guys later. You be blessed and be well.